Well, this is the first installment on our Wounded Eagle project. This is going to be a pretty involved project. It's going to take a while. We're going to try to generate videos on a regular basis, but I don't think we're going to be able to do one every week. We'll have to see. Some of this work's going to take some time. First thing we've got to do is have a good look at the damage and develop a plan of action. And then what we're going to do is start actually start drilling rivets out and get the panels off so that they can be repaired. So this particular chassis is a 1967 AAR Gurney Eagle Indianapolis type car. It was first raced at Indianapolis in 1967, and in actual fact this particular car raced for a number of years all the way into the early 70s. Had some modifications done to it over that period of time, and in fact it acquired a nickname, the Beagle, and it was called the Beagle because at some point in its life, several years after the newness wore off, somebody modified the front suspension and put a Brabham style front suspension on this Eagle, and thereafter the car was named Beagle, Brabham Eagle, or Beagle. A little bit of trivia about this car. This particular chassis is number 211. We don't know for sure who acquired this car new in 1967. Right now the car is painted in G.C. Murphy, Roger McCluskey colors, and that's the way it was done the last time it was restored. When we get it all apart, we may be able to determine for sure whose it was and what it was when it was new, and that'll be part of the process. But the big thing now, as I say, is to take stock of what we have here and develop a plan of action. You can kind of see over here, we'll move the camera over here a little bit. And kaboom. You can see there on the floor is the front bulkhead. or what remains of the front bulkhead. And that's pretty well torn up. The front suspension would have mounted between those 2 points, and this is going to have to be completely replaced. So the area where the master cylinders were and the area where the pedals were and the area where the nose and the radiator were are completely gone. That's going to have to be completely rebuilt. What we will try to do is preserve as much of the original car as possible. Some of these panels, even though they look pretty badly damaged, can be straightened, repaired. They're made from aluminum. That's why we're going to knock all the rivets out and disassemble things. And we will save as much of those panels as we can. The sides of the car appear relatively straight. A lot of times when one of these cars are crashed, you'll buckle the sides, and that's not good. And of course the tail end of the car is okay. We can get a shot. We'll get a shot of the other side here. Again, this front edge doesn't look too spiffy, but the back edge is still pretty good shape. how did how did this thing end up in this condition? Well, there's some speculation about that, but at the end of the day, it was at a vintage event, and there are some who say that the driver ran over a hot dog wrapper, and the car got sideways and ended up nosing into the wall. So, however it happened, it wasn't good. The driver did live to tell about it. I'd say he's got a bruise or two that'll remind him of it for quite a while. But as far as this goes, man made it, man can fix it. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to start to do here shortly. Now we've got a handy dandy tool here. This is a rivet removal tool, and essentially what you have is a nose here that fits over the head of the rivet and locates the tool right in the center of the rivet, and then you have a drill bit inside that drills the head of the rivet. So we'll see if we can we'll see if I can show you how to make that work. So we just hold that right over the head of the rivet. And what you end up with is the center of the rivet with a nice lead hole in it. And what we can do then is go back with a little bit larger drill so that we're right on center and just knock the head of the rivet off, because you don't want to monkey up the holes where the rivets were, because we're going to try to use them again. Simple as that, but there are quite a few rivets in this thing, so it's going to take a while to get them all. What we have is this is what's called the top skin. So you have the side down here and the top, and our first job here is going to be remove the top skin, the center top skin. So we have two bolts here that hold the roll hoop in place, and then this top skin goes up and around the other side. So that's what we're going to take off first. Get a bunch of shavings caught up in there. Let's see if we can unscrew the nose here, clean that out. There we go. what somebody's done here is put more of a pop type rivet in here in these few places, so these are going to be a little trickier to get out. These cars are put together really a lot like an airplane, in that these are all buck rivets. So you've got a metal buck bar on the back side and a rivet hammer on this side, and you just crush the rivet in there and compress the seams together. And normally you would put some panel adhesive in between there and end up with a super strong structure. So what we can do is we have our little tiny chisel here, and I can see I've already done a couple of these. We'll just get right up against it, knock the heads of those rivets right off. Doesn't do too good for the paint, but we're going to take all that paint off there anyway. So. That one's a little tougher. That's those pop rivets. And what we want to do is we'll take a little pin punch and we'll punch those rivets out. Yeah, these rivets here, because they're more of a pop rivet, we're going to have to drill the heads off of them a little bit more. And we'll just keep working our way forward here.